What is karma? Part 1, because you can talk a long time about that. Karma is highly misunderstood, especially in the West. Lost in translation. Karma is Kamma or Gam in Thai. In Thai Buddhism we call it Gam, and in Sanskrit you would call it Kamma. And I was just talking to somebody in a chat, and I happened to do 2 voice recordings. Just talking about something else, actually, that we need some good, everybody needs good karma, because we make enough bad karma every day. So it's good to make good karma. But then I was thinking about the words good and bad karma, and that that's a highly Western or misunderstood terminology, and that there is no such thing. There is only karma. And Kamma, what it means, Gam means cause and effect. And that every little action has a reaction, like Bob Marley said. Not even the Buddha, the Bob Marley, he said that. So I would like to play you the 2 messages, voice recordings, because it's not personal. This is something that can be shared with everybody. So here we go. Excuse me if the sounds a little bit tinny.
When I was a monk, we used to say, joking, but of course serious, it's true, that actually we don't call it good or bad karma. Kamma. Karma means action, actually, which means speech, intentions, thoughts, deeds, words. They all have an effect because they all have an electromagnetic frequency, and they emit. So they have an effect on the outside world, and it's like a mirror. Every cause has an effect. Every little action has a reaction.
And then I continued with?
So when we were talking together as monks, we used to say that actually the Gam, meaning cause and effect, begins the moment you sit up in bed and put your feet on the floor. Whereas as a monk, actually, you don't say it like that, because you don't sleep in a bed, you sleep on the floor. So you just say, as soon as you stand up with your feet on the floor and open your eyes, you've already started to build Gam, meaning you're already entered into the cycle of cause and effect, into the realm of cause and effect. You're already acting, thinking something. So it's already begun from the moment you open your eyes. It's kind of a monk's joke, but it's not a joke also, it's a true Dharma.
And in fact, indeed, that is a true Dharma, in my opinion, which is a bad thing to say, because opinion is a point of view, and the Buddha didn't have a view except for the view, ironically, that all views are false, because there's 2 sides to a coin, or there's 6 sides to a cube, or 12 sides to a dodecahedron. And if you have one standpoint, you can't see all sides of the cube. You can't see the backside. You have to have an objective viewpoint, at least triangulate. So you'd have to have 3 bodies and 3 sets of 2 eyes in order to be able to triangulate and see all sides of the matter from your viewpoint. And you'd have to have all viewpoints in order to have right view. So the Buddha had no view except right view. And right view is the view that all opinionated views are avijja, wrong view. All views are wrong view except for right view. So what is right view? That's another talk, because this talk was just to share to you an explanation of what the word karma really is, and what karma itself, what we mean when we say Kam or Kamma or karma. What do we mean? What is the thing we mean when we say karma? We mean cause and effect. We mean the regrets from your speech or actions which you have to carry like heavy baggage. They're actually cultural conditioning of sin and merit and virtue and so on, which is also another conversation, not for today. But that's something also to do with karma, because bad karma is if you feel bad about doing something, then you are suffering the effects of your own causes, of your own actions, cause and effect. And you can't sleep well. You felt unskillful. So I would like to say that sin and virtue, or merit and sin, I would prefer to use the terms skillful and unskillful, because unskillful things lead to regrets and suffering, and skillful things lead usually to happiness and less suffering, alleviation of suffering. And right view leads to the total alleviation of suffering, because right view is enlightenment. Right view is completion of the Eightfold Path, which is another conversation, another teaching, another talk. So, that is my share for today, and I hope that helps those who have difficulty understanding the concept of karma to understand what is truly meant by it, and in the hope that we all develop right view one day. Because to have right view, we must first understand. Knowledge is important. Knowledge does not bring enlightenment, but without knowledge it is hard for you to bhavana, to apply and deploy your knowledge into practice. If you don't have any knowledge, then some people can still be enlightened through their own natural methods. Like the Buddha himself, he tried every technique possible until he said none of this works. And then he remembered going into a funny dreamlike state as a child and having had experiences, and he thought he would try that state of mind instead of the jhana, which he learned with the two Rusi teachers he first had when he left the palace and exchanged his princely robes with a beggar for some beggar rags, and went into the forest and chopped off his hair. Only for it later, you don't cut your hair once you're a Rusi. But to become an ascetic, first of all, Brahmins had long hair in those days. So cutting off your hair is a symbol of abandonment of the worldly, of the material and worldly. Because actually the key to enlightenment and the key to the end of suffering is abandonment of clinging to things, abandonment of the things which cause us suffering, and so on. And so I will end with that the way to escape the wheel of karma, good and bad, because every karma, every event, every experience is the result of a previous cause, it's the effect of a previous cause, and it is also the cause of a future effect. And so what you're saying now, you're saying because something before was a cause to make you want to say that, to cause you to say that. Yeah, there was a series of causes bringing you to say what you just said. And what you just said also becomes a cause of other things, which will affect other people, or affect yourself, or affect the person you said it to, and change their behavior or their opinion or what they think about you, or whether they feel hungry or not. If you speak badly and they lose their mood, they were just hungry. That's happened to me, feeling hungry, and then something happens to make you be grumpy, and all of a sudden you're not hungry. And so that was a cause. And so always remember, all things are not just a cause or an effect, they are both rolled into one. Just like a coin has a front side and a back side, but it's one coin. You can look at the obverse or the inverse face of a coin and say the Queen Elizabeth on one side and George and the dragon on the other side of this sovereign coin. But actually it's just one sovereign coin. And so good karma, bad karma, cause and effect, they are just two sides of the same coin, yeah, which is Kamma, action, yeah, action. Yeah, but every action is a reaction, and every reaction is an action. They're just two sides of the same coin. So forget good and bad karma. There is just karma that is skillful or unskillful. There is karma that makes you suffer and karma that makes you happy. But it's all karma. It's all cause and effect. And every effect is a cause, and every cause is an effect. Yeah, and the Queen side and the George and the Dragon side are both just two sides of the same coin. Yeah. So I think that's a good way to end, with the unification theory of good and bad karma into one single globalized universal theory of Kamma or Kam or karma, which is one thing, not two, just like everything in existence. But with our dualistic minds, unenlightened as we are, we cannot see it. It is veiled. It is right in front of our eyes. We have merely to lift the veil and to see that there is no such thing as separateness. And all karma is a wheel, but it can be escaped from. How to do that? Well, it took the Buddha about 40 years. It took him at least 6 years of solid practice, to 10 years maybe, but 6 years for sure. So, not easy. And you have to learn a lot of things so you know what to do and how to apply it. And you need a lot of effort. And there's the rub. That's the first thing you need, is to develop effort. The effort will get stronger as you develop techniques to develop more effort. But that comes later. So, the unified theory of karma. There is an effect and a cause, and everything is both an effect and a cause. It is the effect of an earlier cause, and it is the cause of a future effect. Wen Kam. Wen means to travel around, kind of in a circle, to do a circuit. Wen Kam means the circuit of karma, the circuit of action, reaction, action/reaction. Every reaction is an action in itself. Every action is a reaction to something else. And so action and reaction are not two, they are one. Karma unified. And this is how I shall title this podcast. Ajahn Spencer for the Dharma, the Buddha, the true Sangha, which means those who have attained purity and enlightenment, and for the Buddha Magic Project. Signing off.